Hello everybody, Mike Puto, Mr. Marathon, and our Out and About Marathon series now is really hitting home with Mr. Henry Flagler when the first train came down in 1912, and we're going to have a little good conversation here with Mr. Flagler, and this goes back into time, back into history, telling us all about all the neat things with the East Coast Railroad. And
Very good.
Flagler, glad to have you on.
I am glad to be in Marathon. Yes.
Well, tell us, give us a little bit of history about how you got this direction, like into Miami and then further down the Keys.
Well, actually, I first came to St. Augustine around 1883, and I thought it was very interesting. I really liked St. Augustine, but I thought it needed some more development. It wasn't fully developed, and being the capitalist that I am, I said, well, that's an opportunity for me to develop a beautiful city and make some money out of it. So my railroad actually started in Jacksonville, South Jacksonville, and first came to St. Augustine, where I built 2 wonderful hotels, and I acquired a 3rd hotel. And then I started thinking, well, what about if I went further down the east coast of Florida? So I went down to Daytona, and from Daytona I went to Poinciana and built the Royal Poinciana Hotel. And that's really about as far as I wanted to go. But then I was contacted by Mrs. Julia D. Tuttle, and she said, well, why don't you come to Miami? And I more or less told her in no uncertain words, leave me alone. You're pestering me and I don't want to hear from you anymore. But fortunately for Mrs. Tuttle, and eventually for myself, really, there was a very hard freeze in north and central Florida, so I said, well, she pointed out to me that Miami had been not touched by the cold weather, so I said, well, all right, maybe I'll consider this, and I had one of my representatives, do a check and everything on Mrs. Tuttle, and after a while I said, well, all right, I'll extend my railway to Miami. And again, that was about as far as I wanted to go. I mean, that was from Jacksonville to Miami was a lot of railroad.
Oh yeah, it's a long distance.
Yes, but then at the age of 74, something clicked, and I said, well, wouldn't it be a great thing to build a railroad over the Florida Keys from Miami to Key West? Now, I will tell you, many of my friends kind of thought I was a little out of my mind. They even called it Flagler's folly, because you don't just build a railroad over 156 miles of open ocean. But you see, I'm Henry Flagler. And when I make a mind to do something, I'll always find a way. So I put my money to work, and it took 7 years and 9 months to complete. And I arrived on my private railroad car in Key West on January 22nd, 1912, in my private railroad car in Key West at 10:43 a.m. And it was quite a celebration with 10,000 people in to see my wonderful railroad.
Well, just the whole idea of coming across, the swampland, the marshes, down to Key West, and of course the famous 7-mile bridge.
Yes, I love that bridge. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that crazy?
Yes, and that had to be a trip going across the bridge, just on the track. Here's the train, and you can look on both sides, the Gulf and the Atlantic.
That's correct.
See the fish, see the weather, whatever it might be.
No, it's
across, and your engineers did a phenomenal job.
My engineers were phenomenal. Now, originally my engineers, again, thought it was kind of, you don't build a railroad over ocean. But see, then they quickly understood that, when I make up my mind to do something, I will always find a way to do it. And they appreciate it. And I believe my workers really liked working for me. The railroad was originally supposed to be finished in Key West, I believe, in 1913. And now, of course, being January 22nd, 1912, I'm very happy to say that we got it done a year ahead of time. Oh, thank you very much. This is wonderful. This is really a wonderful city. I love Marathon.
And, that's great.
I went over all the bridges and my railroad, and it was yes. I took 7 years and 9 months to complete. It's
well, we're going to go down and create a marathon, huh?
That's right. Absolutely. There you go. Thank you very much.
Well, thank
you so much for talking to me, and
it's huge. This is just really neat to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Hey, everybody. Until next time. Is this great or what?
Thank you very much. Thank you for listening, folks. It's been a pleasure. Henry Flagler.